In 2024, the supernatural horror film, The Deliverance, was released. It immediately climbed to number 1 on the Netflix movie chart, and being the horror fan I am, I had to check it out. The movie focuses around a struggling single mother named Ebony Jackson trying to raise 3 children in 2011 Pittsburgh. Her mother, named Morgan, played by Glenn Close, lives with them, but seems to often cause more stress for Ebony than help out. Much of the movie early on focuses on the inner workings of the family and the struggles they endure. In particular, the central character Ebony is doing everything possible to keep her children on the right path. Ebony, though, is battling her own demons and is far from a perfect mom. A former alcoholic, she had a tough childhood, being sexually assaulted, and the movie does a terrific job showing her background and why she is the way she is. For anyone familiar with possession and demonic infestations, they tend to happen to families or individuals when they are at a weak point in their lives. The movie suggests the evil targeted the Jackson family since they were struggling so much. In the film, the youngest in the family, Dre, becomes possessed by a demon. He is able to control the other siblings and wreak havoc on the family. Dre does okay in the possessed scenes, but at times he seems overwhelmed, and I'm guessing that's why they chose to have Glenn Close play the demon for much of the final scene. In case you're not familiar, this film is loosely based on the 2011 Ammons haunting that occurred in Gary, Indiana. The mom in that case, LaToya, alleges there was a demon infestation in their home, and her family was attacked on several occasions. The case is pretty controversial, with many stating it was a hoax, while others stating something truly evil lurked there. The movie The Deliverance starts slow. This is something I don't mind in horror films. However, the film was so dramatic in the first 30 to 45 minutes, it felt more like a drama than a horror film. There were barely any horror scenes, and I thought this was a pretty big weakness in the movie. I liked the fact it showed the struggles of the family, but I think it just went a little overboard. And that's probably my biggest gripe with the movie in general. The movie felt like Hillbilly Elegy at times, especially with Glenn Close playing the troubled grandmother. For a supernatural film, it really lacked paranormal activity, and there wasn't much of a build-up to it. It felt like the movie just went from family drama to all of a sudden possession and demonic activity. There was really no smooth transition or build-up. There were some scenes where the boy in the family, Dre, who became possessed, acted strange. For instance, he downed some milk in the middle of the night and also began talking with an imaginary friend named Trey. There were also some flies which are supposed to suggest demonic activity, but this old horror cliche has been done too many times. Overall, none of this really built much suspense or feelings of dread in my opinion. The idea of doing a deliverance instead of an exorcism is also something that the film never really explores. I get the marketing angle from the movie perspective. A deliverance is different than an exorcism, and that creates intrigue for the audience. However, the movie fails to answer the question, why not just do an exorcism? In addition, the woman says she failed once before with this particular demon, so why should Ebony have faith she can beat it this time? In the movie, the woman fails once again to defeat the evil as she falls victim to her fears and loses the battle. Ebony is able to defeat the demon with her newfound faith. Much of the weakness in this movie comes from the fact that almost all the horror happens once they start the deliverance ritual. Some of the activity that happens to the kids isn't really scary, but more strange than anything. Dre eats his own poop in school, and somehow he's able to control his brother and sister, leading them to perform incredibly embarrassing acts as well. All this said, I still think this film is a solid horror movie with a lot going for it. The story is well written and keeps the audience pretty interested. It needed more scares and paranormal activity in the beginning, but overall I enjoyed it and would recommend giving it a watch if you haven't.